As we are told, the coronavirus alleviation program is ongoing, and in Kumasi, we are told that there's some food distribution, and we have the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Freda Prempeh, telling us more about it in Kumasi. Take a look.
How far with the distribution of food to the poor and vulnerable?
Let me say we've been able to reach quite a number of people. And you can't reach everybody, you can't reach everyone. But we are trying as much as possible to reach a lot of people. We are operating in about 15 constituencies within the locked-up area. People think that we are serving food in all the constituencies in the Ashanti region. It's within the Kumasi metropolis where the partial locked-up is taking place. That's where we are serving the food. To be specific, to vulnerable groups of people. Vulnerable groups of people, I'm referring to not just the Kayayes. I'm referring to our brothers and sisters who are physically challenged. Our widows, our old mothers and our great-grandfathers who are locked up in their rooms. Those people are our targets. But sometimes it becomes a big challenge for all of us. Once they see the truck with food, everybody rushes on you to get something to eat. So it's been quite frustrating and stressful. But there's so much joy and fulfillment to be able to affect the lives of these vulnerable groups.
People complaining, parents who have children with special needs also saying they've been left out of the intervention. How are you able to go down and identify such people to ensure that they also benefit from this laudable intervention?
You see, some of these or most of these people come under an umbrella or a canopy. They all come under the Federation. So if you are not registered under the Federation, it will be difficult even for the Federation itself to reach out to you. The social welfare officers and the assemblies have a data on those who have registered under the Federation and those who have registered with the assembly. So what I will entreat them to do, if they cannot work there personally, they should ask somebody to go and represent them at the assembly so that they can have their data captured and the social welfare officers will reach out to them.
Going forward, what strategies are we putting in place to ensure that we distribute the food to the various homes instead of creating a distribution center and people massing up?
Honestly speaking, they are supposed to be at home so that these people will reach out to them. But once they pick the food from where the caterers are, it becomes a big challenge. Because people follow you right from where they pick the food to whatever you want to send the food. So sometimes it's difficult for the social welfare officers, the NADBO officers, to reach out to various homes. But that is the essence of the distribution. The most challenging part of this whole distribution is the social distance. People are not observing it at all. When I came to Kumasi, I've been asking myself, do they really understand exactly what is going on? Do people understand what coronavirus is? Or social distancing is not part of their vocabulary? Sometimes I find it very difficult to comprehend it. So I think we have to enforce some of these directives.
How sustainable is this distribution of food?
You see, initially, we served the raw food. That was a one-stop distribution. Then the president directed that we cook meals for the vulnerable people daily. So we've been serving for the past 10 days until last 2-3 days when the president directed that he had extended it for the partial lockdown for another 1 week. So we are serving the additional 1 week. We don't know the directive that the president is going to give the next 2 or 3 days. So it depends on the directive of the president. But as it is, we are serving till the end of the 3-week partial lockdown. I saw on the social media some messages that had gone viral from my younger colleague in Parliament, Honorable Dr. Ezenato Rollins, who was saying that people were being asked for their party ID cards before they are giving their ration. That's an unfortunate statement. I can say on authority that my sister hits below the belt. And she should know that you have been in Kumasi, you know how people rush on us for food. How on earth would somebody go and ask whether you are an MPP person or you are an NDC person or CPP or PNC before you are served with some food? That is a blatant lie. It's not true and it can never happen. It's an unfortunate situation because we are in a very tough and challenging times. And I don't expect any politician to politicize this coronavirus situation. This is not time for any pettiness. It is not time for mischievousness. It is not time for propaganda. It is a collective effort. All hands should be on deck so that together we can fight this coronavirus together.
That was the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Freda Prempeh. Well, she is saying that they are re-strategizing on the distribution of food to the poor and vulnerable because they've also observed that people are not adhering to the social distancing protocols whenever they go to the distribution centers for their food. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3, Kumasi.
Ibrahim Abubakar is Ashanti regional correspondent there with the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Freda Prempeh. Then some of the issues she raised about the politicization of the food distribution, I think we should investigate that instead of just maybe, for all you know, the bigger picture is that let everybody get food, but the people who are probably distributing are the ones asking for party cards. So we should investigate.
For
all you know,
I may not think that
total lies,
people may be asking
according
for,
to them.
for party cards. Some may not.